Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Boruto anime episode review. This one's going to be for episode 85, which is called The Heartstone. And this was definitely, I think, one of the weakest episodes of this arc. It's probably one of the weakest episodes of Boruto we've had so far. Just not a lot happened. What they're doing with, I suppose, the main plot of like Boruto and Onoki in this kind of training area where they have to find the Heartstone to get out is just so uninteresting. And the way they resolved it here, while it gave Seki, the new character here, a little bit of an arc, it really wasn't worth the time they spent setting it up. In that it felt like they were setting up that Boruto's properly going to learn something here, but he didn't really, he kind of helped Seki in the end. That, I suppose, is like something he learned to help him get out, but that's really all there was. And even Seki, even though, like they said, like, okay, he was in the tuning exam previously, he was just one of the random guys. And as much as they tried to get him across as being somewhat interesting here with a little bit of backstory about his grandmother being this kind of key figure in his life, and he's now trying to, I suppose, make sure he finds the Heartstone, that even though she's gone, you know, fulfill that promise to her. And that's at least some sort of motivation for the character. And then he has a special power where it's like he can do, I suppose what they're basically trying to do is like an equivalent to like Sakura strength type thing, but that doesn't involve chakra, in that he has like a power punch. So that's fine, but they were so unclear about what exactly it was. Like, is he just really strong, or is it like a pressure point type strike thing? So the episode just overall felt like really unclear. Like, what exactly is going on here? I really don't think anything they learned in this training area was particularly important. This just felt like a way to waste a couple of episodes and not get straight to the plot. Because in the rest of the plot, like, I suppose we learned something in the Mitsuki kind of coup plot, that the key to adding stability to the artificial humans is a heart, and they specifically need a human heart. That's going to be one of the only ways to stabilize them. That's kind of what they learned from Mitsuki, which I think there's more to come out of that, but it's not the best reveal right now. It doesn't feel all that interesting. Like, I'm still invested in ultimately where I think there's still potential in the arc if they just settle down and commit to actually just telling this story instead of dragging it on and on and on. In that by the end, like, the cliffhanger ending is that Ku is going to officially take over the stone village here, that they can't keep this mask of Kuretsuchi's just missing at the moment, and that hiding the fact that they're in control. They have to actually officially take control now. It's actually becoming an incident in the stone village, whereas before it was kind of hidden in the background. And then Onoki and Boruto separate themselves from Seki, and Onoki still wants to try and prove to Boruto that there's, I suppose, a better reason behind this, and he doesn't want to hurt anyone. So I still think they're leading ultimately to the fact that Ku is going to go against what Onoki wants, and it's going to lead to, I suppose, Onoki realizing that he has to kind of help stop his own plan, but that he had a point, and they'll prove something in the end. Because next episode, the tease looks like we're finally going to get the, I suppose, motivation for Onoki, that being what happened to his grandson, which was teased in the very first episode of this arc, and hasn't been brought back since. So that'll be the reasoning behind why he's so protect the youth type thing. So we'll see that next week, and hopefully they deliver, because that's been something that's been, like, at least in my mind, for a while, and I want it to be well done. Other than that, like, we got like one very brief scene with Shikadai. He's brought in. It's like he's about to have his heart transplanted, but like he breaks out because he used his shadow strangle jutsu on himself, and just kind of woke himself up, and throws a scalpel at the doctor guy and escapes. So he's out. Another brief scene was that Konohamaru seemingly teamed up with Akatsuchi for a little bit, but even that felt somewhat unclear, in that they just had a scene, they met, they didn't really talk, and the next scene with Konohamaru, he's just like looking around the village. So Konohamaru's in the stone village, and Akatsuchi said he's going back to the leaf village. So maybe it's just some agreement that they had where Konohamaru's going to complete his mission, and he's sending Akatsuchi back to kind of fill Naruto in on what's going on. And that's what's going to be, I suppose, that's what's going to bring a lot of the other key characters into play for the finale of this arc, in that, say what you will about where this arc is kind of, how it's been so up and down, we're still going to have to deal with a particle style user in the end as the main villain, and that is an incredible ability. How much he can use it, how much will they play up the deterioration? But still, it's this really, really powerful jutsu, and if Ku is meant to be this like basically clone version of Onoki, that makes him a threat, and you probably need to have some pretty big characters involved in the fight to take him out. But we didn't really cut back to like what's going on with Inojin and that kind of little Akuta, Akun, I think is what they called him. In the end, I can't remember. Again, that plot point has been like, they focused on it for an episode or two, then it got like one scene in the last episode, no scenes here. For an arc that they're stretching out so much, they're doing a weird job about like not really balancing all of the little plot points and the characters that they have at play here. So I'm kind of confused about how they're going to like balance, like, apparently like Sand Shinobi going to have to be involved at some point and so on. But it's fine for what it is, I suppose. As I said, it's not a terrible episode, but I think it's nothing more than average, and I think the show has higher potential than this. I still think the arc has a lot of potential, in that I still want to see the Mitsuki development that comes out of this. I want to see Boruto learn something, because he's just been a little bit kind of like, they've very much just been writing him by the numbers, that there's been no real substance to what's coming out of Boruto. He's just acting like the main character, and that's about it. But yeah, that's really all there is. Will we see Seki again? You know, they're at least setting up, like, here is one genin from the Stone Village that at least has a bit of setup for if you want to do something at a later point. It gives Boruto a connection to the Stone Village that's, like, of his age, and he seems alright as a character. He didn't seem overly annoying. He kind of learned something here, which was fine. But, yeah, we're a bit all over the place with this arc. Like, we didn't see Kuratsuchi in this episode. We didn't cut back to the Leaf Village to see what Naruto and Shikadai are kind of up to and so on. Like, again, like, Chocho, Inojin, Sakura, Sarada, sorry. What are they doing? So I think that's part of the problem with this, in that I don't think this episode would have been as bad if they just kind of, you know, brought us back to, like, okay, here's what's happening with all of the characters that are playing this arc. As it was, I think there was just too many scenes in the training area, searching for the Heartstone, and no real point being made in the midst of all of this. A good example of that is just that, in terms of screenshots for this episode for the video, I could barely find one of note to even make for the thumbnail, let alone a couple like I've been doing in the last couple of videos. So I think that speaks to just like the lack of anything of note in this episode. So, you know, as I said, I don't want to be overly negative, because I still like the show overall, and it's an arc that at least is keeping my interest, even if the pacing is pretty all over the place at this point. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.